The House of Correction was a type of establishment built after the passing of the Elizabethan Poor Law, places where those who were unwilling to work, including vagrants and beggars, were set to work. The building of houses of correction came after the passing of an amendment to the Elizabethan Poor Law. However, the houses of correction were not considered a part of the Elizabethan Poor Law system because the Act distinguished between settled poor and wandering poor. The first London House of Correction was Bridewell Prison, and the Middlesex and Westminster houses also opened in the early 17th century. Due to the First Reformation of Manners campaign, the late 17th century was marked by the growth in the number of houses of correction, which were often generically termed Bridewells, established, and by the passage of numerous statutes prescribing houses of correction as the punishment for specific minor offences. Offenders were typically committed to houses of correction by justices of the peace, who used the powers of summary jurisdiction with respect to minor offences. In the Middlesex and Westminster houses of correction in the late 17th and early 18th centuries, the most common charges against prisoners were prostitution, petty theft, and loose, idle and disorderly conduct. Over two-thirds of the prisoners were female. More than half of offenders were released within a week, and two-thirds within 2 weeks. In addition to imprisonment in a house of correction, over half of the convicted were whipped, particularly those found guilty of theft, vagrancy, and lewd conduct and night walking. Virtually all the prisoners were required to do hard labor, typically beating hemp. In 1720, an act allowed the use of houses of corrections for pre-trial detention of vagrants and other criminals, offenders, and persons charged with small offences. By the 1760s and 1770s, prisoners awaiting trial accounted for more than 3/4 of those committed to the Middlesex and Westminster houses. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the term House of Correction remains synonymous with state jails. The same is true for the state of Maryland.